Rob here has, as we just quickly chatted, quite a few things to talk about. Some of it's for the Canon C300 Mark III, C500 Mark II, but he's got a whole load of more equipment that might make your life easier.
Yep. Hi. As you said, I'm Rob Eagle from Bright Tangerine. We're a UK-based company. I'm based in Los Angeles in the States. And just we've been really busy. We would not have liked this lockdown period, but what it's helped us do is our design team have been no distractions and spent a lot of this period actually coming up with some new ideas and some new stuff, and it's helped us push some of our designs further forward than they would normally have done because there's no day-to-day disturbances. But yeah, we're really excited to get some of these products out on the market, and hopefully when this period of unease or whatever you want to call it is over, it'll get back to normal or some sort of normality, really. So. Yeah, so just talk about the Misfit kit, which we launched earlier this year. We've been around for 10 years now, and we've gone from one matte box, which was a strummer, that went through a few design changes, and we brought out the Viv, the Misfit. And the Misfit was really our little flagship, and it was very popular. But what we've done now is we've redesigned that to make it compatible with ARRI. So you've got your ARRI backs that can go on to an ARRI matte box, LMB25, ARRI 4x5. So it's very interchangeable now. It just makes it easier for the customer for us to integrate into their ecosystem, because most rental houses now are ARRI orientated and they have ARRI inventory. So it allows us now to go in with our matte boxes and actually fit quite easily into their ecosystem. And it's covering a very wide field of view as well. It's our widest matte box we've made, which is great with all these larger sensors. So it's really helping the shooter. And we've got this new reveal system we had on the old Misfit. Now it's like, I'm sure you'll see a caption of it in a cutaway, where it reveals up and down very quickly from 2 to 3 stage with captive screws in. And it's a patented design that we're pushing out. It makes the option to go from 2 to 3 stage very quickly, where with most other systems you would have to, remove a back or add a back, and it's like 15 to 20 minutes of prep time. Or this allows you to put a tray in within like 3 seconds, or reduce that tray. It sort of makes it a lot easier for you.
How does the 3 seconds changing a tray or the ARRI compatibility really speed up the process for an assistant camera operator?
Yeah, if you got an LMB25 or an ARRI 4x5, it's either going to be in 2 stage or 3 stage. If you're on set and you decide suddenly you want to stick that extra ND in, or you want to have another effects filter in, then it's basically an operation, or a different matte box has to be put on set. Or on the other way, if you've got a 3 stage and you're getting vignetting on a very wide angle lens and you want to reduce the distance away from the front of the lens, you can take a tray out very quickly and collapse it. So it's allowing that assistant to fulfill the request of the DP within seconds without holding production up or swapping a matte box out. And we've also done some really cool things on the backs of our trays as well. I actually have a tray here. All my stuff is out on loan at the moment because people are using it and testing it rather than sat in my house. So I don't know if you can see that, but you can see 4 very gentle cutouts, or small cutouts in each corner. And we're calling this the frame safe, and it allows a wider field of view. It increases by about 20 to 30% your field of view on a standard matte box. So you could take this onto an LMB25 and increase the field of view on an LMB25. We also offer a rod mount to go on here. So LMB25 is clip direct only. So you could offer a lightweight rod mount. So basically you could pimp up your LMB25 and make it a lightweight rod mount on all from 80mm up to 143, which you couldn't do before. So it's giving them the option as a shooter or as an AC. Maybe you want that security of it being on rods rather than just clip direct to the lens if you're hanging out of a car or you've got it up on a crane. It's just giving you a bit of extra security, which it's just giving you more options to use that matte box, really. So yeah, it's a great. I mean, it's wide, it's light, and it's about a third of the cost of what you would pay for an equivalent from ARRI, which is it's money's tight everywhere at the moment. So every penny saved really helps.
And also, I mean, I've used Airy Matte Box before. They can, in your hand, they don't feel heavy, but it starts to add up. Bright Tangerine tends to have very lightweight designs and uses lightweight, I would say metal, but carbon fiber. Is that correct?
Yeah, we use our mounting point is the carbon fiber sunshade, so we don't have to have so much metal work behind the back of the matte box because it's our strength and rigidity comes out of that center point. And we use high grade aluminium or aluminum for this part of the world. I mean, we use high grade carbon fiber, and there's different grades of carbon fiber, and it's all machined and it's like molded, so it's extremely strong and giving you rigidity, and it's extremely light. So it does make a difference. If you want that field of view and you want to keep it lightweight and you want the ability to go from 2-3 stage, clip on, swing away, lightweight rod mount, side flags, top flag, you're talking, you can take it from a 2-stage all the way up to a full swing away with top side flags mats in less than 5 minutes. Which is even quicker than swapping a matte box out, swapping the trays out with another matte box, which normally what happens on set.
Speed is essential. You don't want to ruin someone's moment, and no one really likes to wait on camera. One of the things that we were kind of talking before we started recording was the speed of, like, well, not the speed, but how Canon has made two similar exact same body styles of the C500 Mark II and the C300 Mark III. I'm imagining some people are going to be using those together on larger, productions, and having, from what I understand our earlier conversations, it's the same body style, so you have the same cage. Is that correct?
Yeah, I mean, it's, if you're an owner-operator or you're a rental house, if you've got two cages exactly the same, it helps with your inventory. It helps on set. They're both identical. We started off by making the C200 cage and the C300 Mark III and the C500 Mark II. We've actually stripped like 30% of the weight off. So almost the cage is identical, but with some clever engineering, we reduced the weight to like it's a kilo in weight, or 2.2 pounds, which is extremely light for a full wraparound cage. So you're not adding any additional weight. And the way we've done that is, rather than giving you things like a long handle so you can alter your balance, we've given you a sliding top plate. So you can slide the top handle to alter your balance very quickly. We've done a quick reveal, quick off section on the bottom. So rather than like a heavy system on the bottom and then another plate to go onto a VCT plate, we've given you that VCT plate on an open up system. So it's very quickly to take the camera off the tripod, put it on the tripod. So it's trying to make things as easy as possible. And so we've got shoulder rigs and hand rigs coming for that as well, which will all be added later this year.
Yeah. You end up adding a lot of kit to the camera when you have a client sitting around and watching the monitor, and you have a second AC, first AC helping around. You have to, those Canon body styles, they now have 6 taps on the top of the body, but there's not a whole lot of places to mount your accessories. So having a cage is almost necessary I have a cage in my camera up here right now because you need it. You gotta mount stuff.
We've given you the side rails as well. You can purchase with or without the side rails, but the side rails give you another option of mounting, like a monitor arm or whatever you want on the side. It's just giving you areas to mount stuff, because stuff can get very congested, as we all know. I mean, we all see people prepping in rental houses, and sometimes you can't even see the camera. So if you can give someone not too much space, because the more space you give it, the more stuff they'll put on there. But if you can give them the option to spread the stuff around the camera rather than have it like congested in one small space.
So one of the things I've seen in my research with Bright Tangerine is that, because you have the sides too, is you can mount stuff lower on the camera. One of my pet peeves is when someone starts mounting stuff just on top of a camera and you're hand holding. Now you have like a backpack when you're hiking, you get too much weight up top, it's just going to teeter and you won't be able to hold it steady as well.
That's the thing with, I can't say too much at the moment, but our shoulder pad and handle system that we're working on, because cameras are all getting more square and boxy, and if you take a VCT plate and then a shoulder plate, and then everything starts to get very high. And then if you've got the monitor arm mounted on top with the monitor hanging over the side, it's sort of, everything starts to get a little bit unbalanced. So we're working on something to remove the VCT plate or the quick release plate and just have a shoulder pad there with a handle system. And like I say, the side plates allow you to mount your monitor in a lower position to help balance. We've also on our lens supports, we give you a mounting option on all of our lens supports. So you can actually mount your monitor in your eye line if you needed to. So it's sort of, just giving you places to mount stuff where you normally wouldn't do it. Just make it easier for you to use.
Which we've made the cameras taller and squarer and flatter too, it seems like. But we'll all just want to get back to that Atan cat on the shoulder feeling so you don't get tired of operating. Because nothing's more taxing. Like I'm a news camera guy typically, and so I've held a Sony or Panasonic up here, and it's just, if you're not well balanced, it can just wear you out. So if you're a shooter that's shooting a documentary for hours on end, getting that balance just right is paramount, because it's just, otherwise you're gonna have a miserable day.
Yeah, I mean, that's why our matte boxes, we pushed really hard to get our matte, just strip every ounce of weight off, or every gram of weight off our matte boxes, even on our top rails, where the top and side flags, normally there'd be a solid bar across. You know, we came up with our own system for mounting the flags, and it just reduced it by like 30 grams each side, which doesn't sound a lot, but if you strip a bit off here and strip a bit off there, the less weight you have out in front of the camera, the less you have to counterbalance or you have to actually physically hold up. So it all makes a difference. It all makes a difference,
and you all, Tangerine has some drumsticks that are new to show as well that might help with that weight. Is that right?
Yeah, we got the drumsticks. We came out with these last year. I'm not going to say they are the strongest they're not the strongest triple line steel, but I think they're the strongest, lightest drumstick support rods around. I mean, I've got the 19mm version here, and I definitely should have I probably shown these to 500 people, and everybody, the first time I showed them to them, had gone, oh, wow. Because it's confusing because you're expecting to feel some heavy weight. But yeah, I mean, the reason why we did it, because we were getting reports back from some support aluminium or lightweight rods crossing in camera accessories where people have tightened them up. So yeah, we sort of came up with these, and titanium is very difficult stuff to work with. And they're not overly priced. I mean, they're reasonably priced for what they are, but they have a lifetime warranty. You know, it's like buy once, buy for life. You know, you'll have these for a lifetime. And everybody that's used them, I don't think they'll ever go back to using them like a normal rods. You know, hopefully at one point these will become a standard. And we all talk about industry standards, but yeah, these things are actually, for a rod, it's surprising how much they've changed people's. Why didn't somebody do it earlier? You know, why haven't somebody done it before? So
yeah, and it seems like I mean, I have, I think, 4 sets of rods because I've kept either damaged them or tightened things down too much, or just sometimes they're just too heavy, and it's nice to see someone taking something that's really kind of, to be honest, a boring feature of a camera sector and making it so it's like, this is a standard. Titanium is, I guess you said, not easy to work with, but if it reduces weight and has strength, there's no reason for me to have like 4 sets of rods if I can just have one.
If you compare these to carbon fiber, there is lightest carbon fiber without the flex, and no issues with, like, you know, splintering of the carbon fiber if you've gone from cold to hot conditions. I mean, we tested a lot of people's 15 and 19mm rods when we were designing these, and you'd be surprised at the variance in people's tolerances, which, you know, that also causes a problem if it's not clamping down or you can't get it into the holder that it's supposed to go in. So we spend a lot of time making sure these are all right, and it's sort of, they're extremely strong. These are the 19mm, but I've had the 18-inch 15mm. There's almost zero flex, and you're not. And as with the matte box, keeping that weight from out in front. You know, if you put triple line steel or any steel out in front of the camera, it's a lot of extra weight that at some point you're going to have to counterbalance behind you. So we it's for us, it's all about making it lighter and stronger, and that's what we've been trying to do.
So the rods, the cage with the mat box, everything's reducing that weight, especially out in front, where if you have like a airy signature prime, it's not a lightweight prime, so you're committed to some weight. You need to back everything up, and traditionally what happens is you end up with weight in front, and then you start seeing people throw a bunch of gack on top and the back of the camera, and then you're just fighting it as hard as you can.
Yeah, I mean, you're either fighting it or you end up taking stuff off and trying to find a workaround because it's too heavy to use. So that's what we focused on. When we used the high-grade aluminium, it's hard anodized. The titanium is a high-grade sterling titanium. And it's all made in the UK now. It makes a difference. And the more and more people realize this, you can buy very cheap products out there that don't have the same quality, that don't last the test of time. Our problem is once you buy one of our products once, you never come back for a second one. You're never going to break it and throw it away. So we don't get sales by people breaking stuff. We get sales by people buying it for other setups. So it's sort of nice. And we've been around for 10 years, and we've sort of made a name for ourselves. And people, we have a good group of people that use our products, and more every week now. And we started off with mat boxes, moved on to other accessories like the follow focus, and then onto cages. There's a lot more other stuff to come, which is exciting, which I'll tell you about at the end, just before we finish as well.
It's that building that brand loyalty is really one of the only ways is consistent, top level production. And I mean, I've used equipment that, you end up using it for a year and you throw it out and you know what it is, and it ends up costing more money. And I mean, it's
not just that; it's the time. Say I bought a rod and it breaks on set, or I bought a less expensive follow focus and I missed that shot, and it's sort of. I'm confident that our gear does what it says at the time you need it. So it's bright Tangerine, and that's. We don't release stuff until it's ready. We don't release stuff if it's bad quality. Like the Titan arm, we released that 2 years ago. We had problems early on, and we just took it from the market, redesigned it, and it's sort of, it's becoming one of the industry standards because it does what it says. It'll hold that monitor in the place where you want it to. It doesn't. None of this like slipping halfway through the day or it's going to break. So yeah, and that's, the whole company it's where we're built. We're from the top all the way down to the guy that packs the stuff and sends it out to the customers. We're all of that same ethos, make sure it's right first time, or as much as possible.
Yes, well, it's appreciated on this end for sure. You don't want anything to take away your confidence in the shot, and that's the worst place to be. I think.
If you're worrying about your gear not working when you want it to, then you're not really worried about what you're supposed to be doing, trying to get that frame or capture that moment. Sometimes that moment might only happen once, and if something fails during that moment because you saved yourself $200 or $300, then I don't know.
Confidence.
Are you ever going to?
There's really no cost for having the confidence and getting it right the first time.
Yeah, it's like second nature. If you worry about your gear, then that's always a problem. If your gear becomes part of your workflow and you never even notice it's there, that's what we want. Bright Tangerine want you to have that gear so it becomes so easy to use that you don't have to worry about it. It just becomes part of, because it does A, B, and C. So yeah, that's what we strive to do with some of our products and some of the stuff we're bringing out to make it a little bit easier for people to do their work. Without charging an absolute fortune for it.
Now, you guys also have a new quick release plate too. Like you're showing it to me earlier.
We got the open up system, which is actually on all of our 15mm lightweight 15mm studio. So what you'll see on all of our gear, our new accessories now, is this quick release system, which basically it'll lock it in place, Once you slip it to there, it'll slide back and forth on the tripod, onto the balance plate. And then the third section is a snap off. And you can't go from, like, you can go from A to B and B to C. You can't go from B to C without engaging the lock or releasing the lock. So there's no way this will actually, you can accidentally bash this off or knock this and knock the whole camera off. So it's just making you, like as if you wanted to go handheld or you wanted to set the gear up on the floor and lift it up, you could very quickly put it on top of the camera. And this system now is incorporated on our Canon cages. Our red cages will be changed, and all the other cages we make. So it's incorporated. It'll be the same on the 15 and 19 mil and the 15 Studio as well. It's a great, and this is going to be launched. I think it's all on the internet now, but it'll be coming out or available for shipping in a couple of weeks.
Being able to slap it on top and take it off right off the top is, because we've been there. We've seen someone try to slide a camera off.
Yeah, you get a 12-to-1 on a set of heavy rods and a full system, and you're trying to slide that onto a balance plate. It's not the easiest trick in the world. It's a two-man job, whereas this is like a single operator's operation. It's just lift on, snap on, and then if you want to go, you can snap it off. But like I say, with that lock on there, there's no way you can accidentally, there's always that someone's going to say, well, I could open this up and accidentally knock it off. It's a physical release. You can't take it past that point. Even, you can tug on this. It's going to stay. It allows you that slide on and the slide up to set your position on the camera.
And that is made out of steel, not titanium or carbon fiber or anything like that?
No, this is all high-grade aluminum, and it's hard anodized. That's the reason why you'll see like the likes of us, Ari, and a few other people. We charge a little bit more for our products because the aluminium we use is high-grade. It's there's different standards of aluminium, and I'm sure if you did some testing of some people's aluminium, you'll find there's quite a lot of other materials in there. So it's sort of you get the strength from the aluminium, the lightness from the aluminium, the strength from the anodizing. So it makes it extremely strong. Obviously, the side plate is a steel, but yeah, it's extremely strong. And for a 19 mil, it's take my word for it, it's quite light. So as with everything else, we're trying to reduce the weight. Even you'll see there on the top there. I don't know if you can see that. You'll see the cutouts there. Yeah. Cutouts. It's reducing the weight as much as possible, and on the bottom the same as well. Like we machine out all of the plates. It's like every gram or every ounce really makes a difference. And by taking that out, you'll be surprised what weight you can actually reduce. Because if it was a solid block, it'll be twice the weight of what it is now.
So you're showing the 19-inch. Is there a 15-inch as well?
There's a 15 mil Studio, a 19 mil Studio. And the 15, like I say, all of our 15 mil lightweight cages will now have this snap on, snap off. So it's calling it the open up system. It removes the need for a VCT plate. So you'll get an Ari style small dovetail on the 15 mil Studio, a 15 mil lightweight. There'll be a small Ari style dovetail on there, which you could Velcro over a shoulder pad to. You could attach straight to your tripod. So then you get your snap on, snap off on your tripod very quickly without using that the VCT, the snap-in VCT plate.
I personally love anything that's fast, because sometimes you're driving around, say you're done with principal and you're doing second unit, and you see that flash of a moment. Like I think of Ansel Adams when he and his son saw the New Mexico, the desert with the church, and the image. It's sunset, and the sun is lighting up this adobe church and the cemetery, and he just took his 4x5 camera out, or 8x10, and having that speed, for me, I love the speed of it. I don't like to wait around.
No, but you look at all the stuff we're doing, it's about speed and making you as agile as possible. Not everybody's on a tripod working with a 10-man crew or a 20-man crew that could be working on their own, or two people. And if you get that opportunity to do something very quickly to save time because you're on your own, or you're doing something very remote, so last minute you want to change your flow and do something different, we've given you the opportunity to do that, with the lightweightness, the strength, rigidity, and the the ease of swapping from one way to another. Same on our follow focus unit. You can swap from one system to another, handles off very quickly. It's sort of, it does make a difference, and it really does. The more and more people that realize that these systems are out there, and it'll actually aid what you're doing. Sort of once you've used it, it's sort of going back, like they say, the titanium rods. Once you've had these in your hands and you've used them once, going back to normal steel, it just doesn't make sense. Or even aluminium. Even aluminium have a fair amount of flex in the rods. So it's sort of, once you've removed that flex, because the last thing you want is a motor popping off during you've got a long zoom on, your front motor pops off because it's flexed in, or it's just removing that risk of something happening. And like I said, once you forget about your gear because it does what you want it to, you're more focused on doing what you enjoy or what you're being paid for, which is like capturing images to blow people's minds. And like you say, that Ansel Adams things, it's like that, the ability to very quickly just grab something, go and do it very quickly without worrying about it, and then capture that that timeless image that will be there for forever, because it's it's been caught, because one, you're in the right place, and two, you've got the right gear to do it.
So that the story reminds me of I like an image, a scene from the Killing Fields, where the entire scene is shot on silhouette against a beautiful sunset. And knowing a little bit about production, I mean, yes, it could have been planned, but it just seems like to me that someone caught something because of time and because of nature, and having the speed to work fast, to grab that camera and that tripod and shoot the entire scene in silhouette on the Killing Fields just seems like a situation many people are going to be in, where having the lightweight gear to go to the odd location, that faraway location, and the speed to deploy it is just kind of paramount.
Yeah, I mean, I was just something off topic. I was listening to Scott Backham and David Weldon on one of his live streamcasts the other week, and David was talking about, he had to go up on a rooftop and didn't have enough lights, and he ended up taking up this really tiny light, and and then ended up catching a beautiful moment because he just grabbed one light quickly, because it was small enough and agile enough to carry up to a rooftop, because it was just him, one other guy, the talent, the director, and it's just that moment. I can just grab it and go, and then capture that moment. It's a beautiful image. I mean, like I'll ask him for it, but it's that thought. I can just grab something quickly, go and do something, and then it comes together because you have the ability and the ease of grabbing things quickly without worrying, and because it's light enough and it's agile enough. And that's what we strive. Like I say, I've said to Mentor multiple times, that's what we strive to do, is to make the director, the DP, the ACs, mainly the ACs, because they're the guys using it. So
that reminds me too, like we're in foreseeable future, we're in a place with production where the crews are going to be small, social distancing is the way forward, and you might not have a 20-person crew or a multi-person crew even for some shoots, and you might have to carry around your rig that you're used to 2 people carrying for you. And that weight after a 12-hour day can really wear someone down as shooting progresses, and that physical exertion can really impede your creativity if you're not used to it. So weight it's an issue. It's a paramount issue when you're by yourself, for sure.
I also mean, speaking to people that are doing a little bit of shooting now, you are talking, it's very, very small crews. People are keeping their distances. So yeah, going forward, I think for a while, I think I don't think you're going to see 20-man crews like all going on to a shoot. It's going to be small, agile people, groups of people, and then they've got the gear rather than heavy production gear. I think it might be the way forward for a little bit, just so people get the confidence back, or whatever happens, we get a vaccine or something. So yeah, it's very uncertain times, but if you're agile and you've got gear that is very lightweight and agile for you, then it'll all help, I think. So we've got a new diopter tray that will go in the Misfit kit. It's a 2-stage diopter tray with the gear on. It would allow you to put a diopter in up to a +2, and also a rode a polar as well. So it'll be a geared polar, a geared diopter tray. So if you had split diopters, you can actually gear the diopter around, and that will go in the Misfit kick. So that's a great little addition to the Misfit kick. We've got a tilt tray coming later in this year for that as well. Can't say too much about that. We've got, let's say, shoulder pads and hand grips coming. What else have we got on the list here? Sorry, yeah, we've got a new EVF mount that's going to change the way you mount your EVF on the camera. It's going to be the standard rod mount, but the way you adjust it and how you put it on, it's going to really make your life a lot easier to move it around to the position you want without having to do up half a dozen or 3 or 4 different. Because normally it's like tighten up here, tighten up there, tighten up here. This will all be done in one action, which is that's who we are. The rain deflector, the Prodigy, that's still ongoing. We showed that first last year, a very early prototype at Cinegear last year. That's just was finishing some final testing on the new Batman movie in the UK. And the AC and the DP both have come back and said, but there's some shots that they couldn't have done without the rain deflector Prodigy. So we're really excited about that. And obviously, the more testing, we could have released it last year. We wanted to make sure it was right and it covered everything we wanted to do. So same as our follow focus, when that first came out, that took 2 years to develop, make sure it was right. We're hoping at some point this year the Prodigy will come out, but getting testing on a movie of that scale and to get feedback from the DP and the AC saying, it wasn't possible to get the shot that we wanted to make without that. So we had 3 units on that show. So we're just waiting for once I think they've still got to do some pickups and some final shots for the movie. I'm not 100% sure, but once that's done, it'll come back, and then we'll push that forward. So there's a lot going on. Like I said to you earlier before we started, although the production is almost stopped now. The design team have been working remotely or social distancing. They've been working extremely hard to push forward some of these new products and bring some new ideas to the market. So we're really excited for the next 12 months, and wanted to take this opportunity as well to say thank you to anybody that's ever bought one of our products, because without you guys using it, buying it, and shooting with it, we wouldn't be where we are now. So,
well, it's been great to see Bright Tangerine build a long legacy of making products patiently with the high engineering and stuff that lasts a lifetime. Thank you for taking the time to talk with us today. If you guys haven't checked out Bright Tangerine's equipment yet, or the matte boxes, I've used a few of their items. They're top level, and you will not be disappointed. You will not, once you buy one matte box, you won't need to buy another unless you have totally different needs. So good job with everything you guys are doing, and I hope the best. I hope you guys stay healthy out there.
Thank you, and hopefully see you all soon, or if not, at a trade show. I think Cinegear LA is going to be in October, so hopefully see a lot of you there. If not, I'm sure we'll all catch up very soon. Thank you, Brian. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you.